Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. This is a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 114. I was white here, kicked off with d4, and my opponent played the Marshall defense. So d4, d5, c4, queen's gambit, and knight f6, the Marshall defense to the queen's gambit. So most common moves here are c6, the Slav, e6, the queen's gambit declined main line, I guess you could call it, other than the Slav, and d takes c4, the queen's gambit accepted. There's also knight c6, the Chigoran defense, and e5, which is a gambit line. I can't think of the name right now. And then knight f6 is not the most popular choice. It's known as the Marshall defense. And the reason is that the reason it's not so popular is that it loses tempo. Now, if you look here, knight f3, let's take a look at this briefly. If knight f3 is played, the most common move, I think the main idea with knight f3 is just to transpose back into a line of the queen's gambit accepted or declined. Queen's gambit declined or the Slav. So to play the Marshall defense proper, you take. And then he can take back with either the queen or the knight. If he takes with the queen, then yeah, knight c3 kicks the queen immediately and you gain a tempo. And if he takes with the knight, then you can play e4, and it becomes like a it's like a Grunfeld, except there's no target for the knight on c3, and so the knight just has to retreat. So that's how you can play against the Marshall defense. So in the game, the line actually chosen was queen takes. I played this knight takes, knight c3 rather, and he played queen to a5. And I went knight f3, and he went e6. And I went bishop d2, so it looks like these are normal moves, and then by bishop b4 here, we're out of the opening book. So I looked at this with the chess engine, and I'm going to leave the chess engine off so I can do some quizzes later, but thinks that white has a real substantial advantage in this position. So it's not the best position for black. Basically, he's just losing time moving the queen around, and so if I can develop effectively, I should have a good game. So bishop b4 was played, putting more pressure on here, and I figured I could get away with e4 in this circumstance. If he takes the knight, I take back with the bishop, and he has to move the queen, so this pawn he hasn't got time to grab the pawn. So he retreats the bishop to queen b6. I defend the pawn, he castles, and I castle. So let's back up. I have a much better move than castling here, and so this is an interesting position to test out your chess senses on. It's not exactly a tactical move, but it has some tactical points involved. So why don't you pause the video and study this position a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and give away the answer now. The chess engine recommends e5 here, and it thinks that the best move for black is knight g4, and we'll come back to, I assumed he was going to play knight d4 if I pushed e5, so we'll come back into why that's not a good idea in a second. But after knight g4, I can kick the knight with h3, and there's no real good square for the knight except back here, and I can take it. And I've given up a bishop for a knight, but I've totally wrecked the king side, and this position strongly favors white. My pieces are more developed, and his king is now exposed to an attack. So this should just be smooth sailing. Okay, so let's back up to e5, and let's look at this move knight to d5, which is what I thought was the most logical move. And so can you guess what white can play in this circumstance to refute knight d5? Okay, pause the video if you want some time to think about it. I'm going to give the answer away right now. The answer is bishop takes h7 check. Yeah, this is one of those positions where you can play the Greek gift sacrifice. So if the king takes the bishop, it's knight here, the king goes back, then it's queen here, and the king is going to be in big trouble. This e5 move has knocked the knight away. The queen and the bishop are over on the queen side. These pieces aren't even undeveloped, so this is a winning position for white. The engine gives king to g6 as the strongest try, but even this is winning for white. So you might want to play around with this position. It's kind of fun to see how you can win from this position like that. The chess engine actually gives king h8 as the best reply for black. So anyway, that would have been a nice way to play this game. I didn't even think about this. I was thinking, what am I going to do about my pawns, and just trying to hold them there, and and I wanted to unpin this knight, so I just went ahead and castled on him almost automatically. Now this keeps an advantage to white. Just even this move, which is a little bit funny, knight a4, still keeps an advantage to white because it gives me some tempos to develop my pieces, and so I'm doing pretty good through all of this. To here, c5. Yeah, I didn't find the best reply to c5 here, so it's interesting. So what I played in the game was bishop to e3. Once again, e5 is an idea to play here. I don't think the bishop sack works anymore because he's had some time to develop a few pieces, but I wasn't really thinking about that so much. But the move I did think about that the chess engine recommended is queen e2. And I didn't play this because I was worried about this move, c takes d4. But the engine says that's not even a good move. Okay, black gets a pawn, but white has this move, rook f to c1. And the rooks are coming in on the c file, really taking advantage of the lack of development. And this is once again, this is a good position for for white. The knight, for example, if the knight were to come to h6 to try and defend that, it can just be taken because the queen and the bishop make a battery. So that's why queen on e2 is a strong move. It clamps down on the queen side as well as allowing the rook to come over and get a battery on the c file. So that would have been a good way to play. I played just bishop e3 defending this pawn. It still keeps some slight advantage, but now I finally get in the move e5. You know, I still really wasn't thinking about bishop h7 check. I don't know why. Maybe I was a little sleepy this time, but anyway, I should be considering moves like queen h5 here. You know, it might provoke the move g6, but that would at least create some weaknesses and some targets over here to attack. But anyway, yeah, I just played queen e2. And there's still a slight advantage, a slight pull to white, but now with this move, knight b4, black is pretty much equalized. And after a3, yeah, the chess engine really didn't like a3. It thought it was equal, and after a3 it thought that black was better. It recommended just a rook move, for example. Rook to d6 is a possibility, or rook c to d1, creating a d-file battery. Those are all ideas here. So a3, I guess it weakens these pawns over here. I had the idea, you know, I would advance this pawn and take advantage of the pin, but that never really played out. So there's this exchange. But the game is not over, and in fact, I have a real interesting opportunity right here. And so it's white's turn to move, and this is purely tactical, but there's a really killer move from white here. So can you spot the move? What is white's best move right here? Okay, pause the video if you don't see it yet. This is something you should be able to figure it out. Now you've been given the clue, there's a tactic here for white. You should be able to find it. So pause the video if you haven't already, or if you haven't already figured it out. I'm going to give the answer away. It is rook takes c6, and he can't even take that back, so it just wins a bishop. If he takes, it's queen takes rook check, and of course the queen comes back to defend. It's queen takes queen checkmate. And if rook takes queen, then rook takes check, then queen comes back, then it's checkmate. So that's just a forced mate if he takes the bishop. because that move is with check. Yeah, so everything is forced after that. So anyway, that's a cool tactic. Should definitely be in your book of tactics and your mental library there. I missed that for some reason. Played b4. I was just, yeah, sometimes you're thinking about the wrong tactics and you don't see the other ones. You know, I was thinking about the pin on the bishop and how to exploit that. And so when I ignored that tactic, it allowed him to start making threats on the queen side. I could actually still play that tactic here, the queen and the rook. So I had two moves where I could have played that. But instead, well, I saw he's threatening mate. And so I thought I'd better defend. And now black plays a nice tactic here. So if you want to guess black's tactic, you have to cover up the right side of the board and try and guess it. But I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. It was bishop takes g2. And so everything is pretty much forced from here on out. The chess engine did not find any improvement. And black is just winning because this was a double attack. It attacks the queen and it attacks the rook, which has only got one defender, and there's two attackers. So it sacrifices the bishop, but it picks up a whole rook. So and a pawn. So after this, black is just winning, and he doesn't make any more mistakes. So this is just a winning endgame with an extra pawn and a rook against a bishop. So I play on for a bit, seeing if I can get anything going, play for chances, but nothing doing. Never got anything. Oops, come on, I wanted to play through it all. Let's see. So, you know, I was trying to maneuver my bishop around to a good position. And when he started pushing this pawn forward and I couldn't stop it, actually it was here, yeah, when he started going after my other pawns, I realized, well, I need to do something more active than just sit there with my bishop. So I tried moving it around. But basically, nothing works. And once the bishop is over here on the wrong side of the board, there's no stopping the b-pawn from becoming a queen. So at this point, I resigned. So good game from Jax. He missed some tactics, but I missed them too. Kind of a weak opening, but I didn't refute it properly, so that's the way it goes. And hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I'll see you again later. Bye.